Good Tuesday morning, everybody. Meteorologist Johnny Lively for our Tuesday morning update, sponsored by HB Neal Construction. If we look over towards the Tamco Live Doppler radar, really not much going on. You did see a couple isolated showers towards the coast near Port Arthur, but a lot more activity currently offshore. You can still see that trough, that weak frontal boundary further to the north. That's where we've seen some showers and thunderstorms, parts of Tyler, East Texas, getting into the Shreveport region. We're going to continue seeing these two areas. Coastal region having some showers and thunderstorms from some sea breeze, up towards the north having some redevelopment showers and thunderstorms from that weak frontal boundary. So we'll see those two areas kind of redevelop some showers and thunderstorms later this morning into the afternoon. Again, there's a satellite and radar. There's that weak frontal boundary in there into East Texas, into Shreveport. And then we've got some activity of parts of the coast, a lot more action going on towards New Orleans into Mobile. But we'll see a little bit more activity towards Galveston, Port Arthur, and the Sabine Pass and Cameron Parish a little bit later this morning. And then we'll watch our lakes region get a little bit more active later this afternoon from that weak frontal boundary. We'll talk more on that here in a second. Look at the current temperatures. You can find some low to mid 70s further to the north that you go, but the rest of us, we're pretty much into the upper 70s to the low 80s. Thanks for a sponsor of Silsby Ford. Get you on feeling those July temperatures early this morning. Looking at our outdoor and construction forecast for today, shouldn't have any problems really the next couple of hours, and really not too much this morning. It's not until we get into the lunchtime hours we start seeing a little bit more activity. We start seeing that sea breeze popping up between 11, getting closer to the lunchtime. And then once we get into the afternoon, that's when we should start seeing that 30 to 40% coverage. So we'll start showing that here in a second on the Futurecast. But again, should see some sea breeze along the coast. And then later on this afternoon, we'll see some showers and thunderstorms towards the north, probably try to work their way southward. Not much going on in the tropics right now. Thanks for sponsor of Tamco. You can see pretty quiet over there into the Gulf. We don't even see much showers and thunderstorms going on in the tropical Atlantic. Why is that? That's because lots of dust is in the Caribbean right now, a good portion into the tropical Atlantic. We're going to see some of that dust coming in. I wouldn't say lit it later tonight, but we'll definitely start seeing that coming in Wednesday and as we get into Thursday. We'll talk more on that in a second as well, too. Switch Electric showing we've got a high pressure off towards the west, high pressure off towards the east, no high pressure right above us, so that means that rain chances are still there. As long as high pressure is not right over our area, we're going to continue seeing rain chances. So kind of the best chance for rain is today. As we get into Wednesday and Thursday, possibly around 10 to 20% coverage, more of like a normal summer-like pattern, right? But as we get back into the weekend, watch as high pressure goes back up towards the north. And that means the door is wide open once again off towards the east. So we could have storms by the time we get into Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Storms could come back in from Mississippi and from Louisiana, sliding in from the east. So we could see that pattern once again as we get into the weekend. So pretty decent coverage today. I mean, it's not everybody's going to get it. 30 to 40% coverage this afternoon. 20 to 10% coverage as we get into Wednesday and Thursday. We've got that dust coming in. So we actually will have somewhat of a battle of some moisture and the dust. And I think this is going to keep us limited Wednesday and Thursday on the rain chances. And then again, that high pressure goes off towards the north. Flow comes in from the east, so we have some moisture coming in. There's the battle of the Saharan dust and the moisture. Does this allow us to get to scattered? Right now, we're going with 30 to 40% coverage Friday and into the weekend. And as we get even into early next week on Monday. So just kind of be watching. We'll be seeing the Saharan dust battle the moisture, but regardless, I just don't see us going rain-free. We don't have high pressure sitting right over our area. So even though the dust is coming in, should dry us out, I don't think it's going to limit the moisture we have coming in. That's the end of the weekend to the weekend. We'll talk more on that just in a second as well, too. Again, there's that sea breeze we're likely going to see develop later this morning into the afternoon hours. I'll move my head out of the way. You can see towards Lake Jackson, Winnie, Port Arthur, High Island, Sabine Pass, Cameron Parish, Lake Charles. You can see that sea breeze develop, working its way towards the I-10 corridor. And then later this afternoon, 3, 4, 5 p.m., we should see some more showers and thunderstorms kind of developing from East Texas, Palestine, Crockett, Nacogdoches region, and then getting into Jasper and the DeQuincy region. And we'll see that further move southward later this afternoon into the evening time. Then once we get into the sunset hours and into night, all of that coverage drops down because we lose the daytime heating, we lose the storms. Thanks again to our sponsor of Tamco, kind of showing us what's going on. Sea breeze later this morning, and then a little bit more action as we get into the afternoon. Again, 30 to 40% coverage later on this afternoon. Temperatures into the low to mid 90s for several areas. Some further inland could get closer to the upper 90s. Down there towards the coast, we're seeing less of the upper 80s and kind of more into the low 90s. So you should get into the upper 80s to low 90s down there towards the coast. Again, 30 to 40% coverage for some scattered showers and storms is what we're expecting. And overnight tonight, we lose the daytime heating, we lose the storms. Should be a very humid night once again, what we feel this time of year, into the middle to upper 70s, with several areas probably going to be hugging that near 80 mark. Again, thanks to our sponsor of Silsby Ford. Get you on. The Saharan dust, we just talked about it, is very dry across the tropical Atlantic. That's because this Saharan dust continues to move westward. This is now getting into the Caribbean. Should get into the Gulf really later tonight. So by the time we get into Wednesday, especially Thursday, this will be moving into the United States, especially here in Texas and Louisiana. This is what should limit our rain coverage tomorrow on Wednesday and Thursday, giving us around 10 to 20%. And we'll see how much of this continues to move into a region the end of the week into the weekend. So upper respiratory people, definitely continue to keep watching this. Can cause some problems as we get into Thursday and Friday. And here we are. Again, Saharan dust kind of starts sneaking in Wednesday and really gets in here to Thursday. We'll see how much of that really kind of continues to come in Friday, Saturday, because we've got moisture moving in as we get into the end of the week. So today, we've got 30 to 40% coverage. Drops down a little bit on Wednesday and Thursday. Another round of moisture comes in this weekend on Friday and Saturday. Battling that Saharan dust, I think we should still at least get 30 to 40% coverage Friday into the weekend. And even early next week on Monday, we still have the chance for some isolated to scattered showers and storms. I'm not saying we're getting in a wet pattern. We're just kind of keeping that summer rain o'clock hours. Late afternoon into the evening, you got the moisture, you got the heat of the day, you get pretty active still. Wednesday and Thursday, not too much. That Saharan dust should kind of somewhat limit us. Friday and Saturday, we'll kind of see how much this really does move in the moisture, because we should still see some scattered showers and storms Friday into the weekend, even though that Saharan dust is moving into southwest Louisiana as well. So today, pretty decent coverage this afternoon. In the evening time, we've got the sea breeze, and then we've got the storms far towards the north. Wednesday and Thursday, slightly drop down a little bit, but we should still be active even once we get into the weekend. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, still seeing 30 to 40% coverage. Likely going to see 50% coverage on Friday or on Sunday. I apologize. So I know it kind of looks active even on southeast Texas and southwest Louisiana on the 5 to 7 day coverage. You know, Wednesday and Thursday, not that bad. It's just we're not trying to show that we're getting into a wet pattern. We're just trying to show that we're not going 100% rain-free. High pressure is not sitting on top of us, so we just continue to have the chance for rain really the next 5 to 7 days. Coverage is just less on Wednesday and Thursday. So it is a good time to go download the free Gulf Coast Weather Solutions app, because we're talking about the chance of rain again today. Less coverage on Wednesday and Thursday, and then it returns Friday and Saturday. Good time to go download our free Gulf Coast Weather Solutions app. You get the heat of the day, you get these storms. They can generate lots of lightning, sometimes some gusty winds. So it's a perfect time to go download our free app. It keeps you updated 24/7 around the clock. It even notifies you when rain is moving in and out of your area, and gives you all the updates that you need for any lightning strikes. If you're doing anything outdoors, whether it's construction, working in the garden, doing anything sports-wise, this app will keep you updated. So y'all have a wonderful Tuesday. And again, stay cool. It's going to be hot today, 100 to 106 heat index. And then we start seeing some of those showers and thunderstorms developing later this morning, mainly into the afternoon. The coverage drops down a little bit on Wednesday and Thursday, and then we kind of continue what we're seeing this afternoon once again Friday and into the weekend. And then again, that Saharan dust starts moving in Wednesday, especially on Thursday. So y'all have a wonderful Tuesday. Thanks again for joining us. Y'all have a good Tuesday. See y'all tomorrow morning on the Wednesday morning show.
Gulf Coast Weather Solutions is sponsored by. Thank you for making Gulf Coast Weather Solutions one of your go-to sources for weather around the clock. From heavy downpours and severe storms to winter weather and the tropics, we've got you covered with accurate, reliable forecasts you can trust.
Next week is starting to look a little bit more stormy.
But look what's moving into the state of Texas.
Gulf Coast Weather Solutions.